Well, despite releasing my original review of Watership Down from over a year ago, I'm still receiving notifications from the video of people commenting on it on a near daily basis, and the majority of these comments revolve around the violence and the film and the U rating given to it. In the original review, I briefly mentioned how I felt a U rating is not the appropriate rating considering some of the scenes depicted in the film, mostly regarding the blood and violence. Some of you agreed with me, and some of you, well, disagreed. So I thought I'd make a follow-up video focusing more on the film's rating and whether it is right or wrong, and hope that I can make my point a bit more clearer than in the previous video. So just to clarify, this video will not be a review of the film, but more focusing on its rating. If you want to see my personal opinion of the film, you can go check out my previous video, link is in the description. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. So Watership Down is a film which is actually based on a novel, which is also called Watership Down, just to keep things simple. This was written by Richard Adams and was released in 1972. It follows the stories of a group of rabbits as they try and escape the brutal destruction of their home in seek of a better life. The book itself also featured a fair bit of violence, but having violence written in a book is a bit different to having violence in a film, most notably because younger audiences are going to be far more exposed to a film, and the violence, rather than being left to the reader's imagination, is plain and simply there for the viewer to see in a film. So quite often you'll find with novel to film adaptations, the violent and mature themes are toned down or removed completely to be a bit more kid-friendly. A prime example of this is the popular film Babe, a story about a pig on a farm who's trying to make himself look special to stop himself becoming the farmer's dinner. In one scene in the novel, there is an attack on one of the farm's sheep by a group of wild dogs. In this scene, one of the sheep is killed in a bloody mess. The scene is heavily played down in the feature film, as a sheep getting mauled by dogs isn't really something that would sit well with most audiences, and so the film's rating would no doubt get put up to a more mature rating. And more mature rating means less audience, and less audience means less money. In the film Watership Down, much of the violence and mature theme from the book is actually still present in the film, which you've got to kind of respect in a way, as the film does stay very close to the original source material. But the controversy Watership Down has raised, and even continues to raise to this day, is the rating it has been given. When the film was originally released in UK cinemas in 1978, the film was given a U rating by the British Board of Film Classification, or BBFC for short. So let's just quickly clarify as to what a U rating means.
When you rent or buy a video, you need to know that the film you choose is suitable for the audience at home. To help you understand what the film is like, you can look at the certificate it has been given. This film has been classified U. That means it can be seen by people of all ages, and there will be nothing unsuitable for children.
Now, let's be completely honest with ourselves here. Do you really think that this film contains absolutely nothing that would be potentially unsuitable for children?
Runs blocked with dead bodies. Couldn't get out. Everything turned mad.
Especially when you consider the kind of films that would usually receive a U rating, and even looking at certain films that have received a PG rating. I mean, even some of the episodes of Tom and Jerry are receiving PG certificates. And yeah, Tom and Jerry can have some level of violence to it, but Tom and Jerry is slapstick violence, and Watership Down is... yeah. So if you're an unsuspecting parent, or even person, who is going out to buy a family-friendly film, and you see this DVD on the shelf, you're not really gonna get an accurate impression on what to expect. The DVD cover itself looks very bright, warm, kid-friendly, with no signs of violence or distress. Even the film's villain, General Woundwort, has been slightly cutified on the cover. And just to really put your mind at ease, there's a big U rating down in the bottom right. Ah, the U rating. The same U rating on other popular children's TV shows, such as Thomas the Tank Engine, Peppa Pig, and oh, we'll get to that another day. And then when you see things such as The Simpsons and Tom and Jerry getting a PG rating, you think, well, how bad can Watership Down be? I've watched The Simpsons, I've watched Tom and Jerry. If that's considered a PG and this is considered a U rating, I can handle whatever it throws at me, if anything. So I completely understand the shock and even disgust people get when they first view this. And don't come up with the argument that people should research their films in the first place. No unsuspecting person is going to think about researching a kid-friendly looking film like this that has a U rating slapped on it. You just wouldn't. Just because on the off chance there's some violent imagery of these cute little rabbits being ripped to shreds by a dog, or suffocating in their own home whilst being buried alive. I mean, we better start researching all of our kids' films. Shit, what about Peppa Pig? What if there's an episode of Peppa Pig where she's taken to the slaughterhouse and has a bolt gun put into her head? Or an episode of Thomas the Tank Engine where a man commits suicide on the railway tracks and Thomas accidentally runs over him, splashing his corpse, and has a moment of PTSD. Not to mention that Watership Down does also contain a minor swear word.
Help you.
Piss off! Piss off!
And although piss may not be up there with some of the other swear words, and could even be seen to be okay on TV,
Quite good at taking the piss out of someone.
Wait, that's okay to say? Taking the piss. Taking the piss. Taking the piss, taking the piss, taking the piss.
oh Simpsons, what happened to you? It's probably still not something you'd expect to see in a U-rated film. And for those of you that told me in the previous video that the seagull wasn't actually saying piss off, and that I just misheard him, well, you can look at IMDb and even the BBFC website. They officially recognise it as saying piss off. I honestly think Watership Down is a really well done film, and I applaud its efforts to try and stay faithful to the source material by including all of the mature themes. Beyond the violence, the film does teach the struggles of everyday life and how everything isn't just a sugar-coated Disney fairy tale. It boldly shows that death is a thing and why that it's okay that death is a thing, and offers a subtle message about how we should be taking better care of the environment. These are things that I do think are a valuable lesson for kids to learn, and I would recommend showing them this film because of that, especially over other kids' films such as
We do after we go potty.
Should we wash our hands?
We're number 2.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think there should be appropriate disclaimers to warn people of the type of content to expect from this. There will be blood, there will be deaths, and there will be some scenes that viewers are going to find disturbing, possibly. Normally, when we look at a film for all audiences, we tend to say it's a kids' film that adult audiences can also enjoy. Well, I think Watership Down is more of an adult's film that kids can also enjoy. Even the BBFC recognises that if the film was to be re-rated today, they would most likely give it a PG rating. Which, to be completely honest, is probably the rating I think would best suit it as well. It's not quite the next rating up, which is a 12A, but it certainly is not a U rating. But something more in between. Something that kids can watch and enjoy, but would recommend some parental guidance when viewing. But regardless of what any of us think about what it should be rated, is kind of irrelevant. the BBFC has already stated that the film will be remaining a U and will only be re-rated under the following circumstances. So let's stop fighting over what the rating is and what it should be. It's been rated a U, and it's going to stay a U whether you agree, argue, disagree, whatever. If you like the film, that's great. Enjoy watching it and recommend it to others, with prior warning of course. And if you don't like it, that's fair enough. Opinion is subjective. Just don't go trying to get the film banned or unnecessarily censored to meet your standards. Okay, well, I hope that video cleared things up a little bit more about the Watership Down rating and my opinions on it. If you have anything further to comment, then you can leave it down in the comment section. Whether you agree, disagree, I'm all ears. But until the next one, guys, take care of yourselves.